Starz demonstrated its belief in the show by early renewing it for a fourth season prior to the start of Season 3. Season 4 is presently in production in New York. While Tariq, Brayden, and the Tejada family are mourning Zeke's death, Season 3 got off to a dramatic start with all new twists, turns, and murder. However, they won't have much time to do so because a new set of issues and concerns soon start to surface. Even more family conflict, betrayals, and unexpected new alliances are present in this season, making it flashier, juicier, and sexier. With her family, Monet is at a crossroads. Brayden must decide between his biological family and his chosen family, and Tariq is improving this season. The group's plan to spread the product to sell in as many locations is in motion in the second episode of the season, Need versus Greed, but not without some initial contention. Where to sell the drugs is a point of contention between Tariq and Brayden. Brayden suggests selling to the snobby workers of the Weston family business, which Tariq strongly objects to. This is just one of many instances that relate to the episode's Need versus Greed title. Our choice is made to satisfy a pressing need or to give in to a desire. What are the effects of acting or not acting in a certain situation? It is obvious that Tariq and Brayden usually hold opposing views on this issue, but because Noma is putting their lives in danger, their immediate needs are more similar, which enables them to reach a consensus on how to proceed with the episode. Lorenzo challenges Kane to assume the top spot, and to his surprise, Kane accepts. Meanwhile, Effie struggles to find her footing in the discussion of need versus greed. Lauren must make a difficult choice, but Jenny Sullivan, Cooper Sachs, and Blanca Rodriguez are making a strong case against them, so Lauren may not even need to make a choice at all. There is no denying the friendship between Tariq and Brayden. Together they have shared both wonderful and unpleasant experiences. The need versus greed subject of this week's episode is reflected in Tariq and Brayden's significant differences, despite the fact that they share many traits. According to the plot of the TV program, Tariq had to sell drugs to pay for the legal defense of his mother's release from prison. He must carry on doing it in order to win Monet's favor, and, as of late, in order to prevent Noma from killing him. Yes, in order to avoid Noma's vengeance. Brayden now also needs to sell the narcotics, but, from the beginning, he chose to play the game. He enlisted after discovering he enjoyed the experience and was somewhat skilled at it. Therefore, it makes sense why Tariq is so opposed to Brayden's request to move some of Mecca's drugs inside the Weston family workplace, and why he is so casual about it. In Tariq's drug case, Brayden took the fall, which led to him obtaining a six-figure job while Tariq would have gone to prison if found guilty. Tariq faces a greater risk, which makes meeting his requirements alone, and nothing more crucial. When it comes to shaking hands with Rashad Tate, Brayden's avarice has the potential to both elevate them and cause them great harm. You would assume that a murderer like Lorenzo, whether it was intentional or not, would be better at keeping his identity a secret. He insults and denigrates Kane throughout Need versus Greed, by listing all the reasons he doesn't believe him. Then Lorenzo says that Kane needs to locate Zeke's killer in order to possibly win back his trust and become the one to take on the family's drug operation. However, the joke is that Lorenzo actually killed Zeke. It was at this point that we could clearly see both how much Lorenzo misjudges Kane and how little he wants to hand the reins over to him. This particular incident demonstrated how much Kane valued his other offspring above himself. But a few scenes later, Kane confronts Lorenzo and accuses him of being Zeke's killer. Despite Lorenzo's attempts to deny it, Kane is able to persuade him to confess it. Lorenzo experimented with fire but was unable to manage the burns. As a result, he is now under Kane's extortionate control, and no one can predict where that will take him. If Lorenzo had been wise, he would have taken every precaution to avoid being noticed and scrutinized. Kane has been anticipating this. He followed the rules and violated them in an effort to advance in the family drug organization's hierarchy. Even though he was dishonest at times and faithful at others, his behavior didn't benefit him until now. Kane discovers that Lorenzo was the one who killed Zeke, as per Lorenzo's direct instructions, and he uses this information to threaten his father into moving some of the goods that Noma has instructed Tariq, Kane, and Brayden to distribute. Even though the majority of his previous master plans to position himself to take over the family company had more or less failed prior to this episode, Kane persisted in coming up with a new one and trying again. Finally, he has everyone where he wants them, so it is time to move on to the next stage. We'll have to wait and see how long this lasts, but Kane is just getting begun, and in the interim, we know he'll make the most of it. In this brand new dynamic involving her Tariq, Brayden, and Kane, Effie is attempting to discover her footing. She doesn't seem to be as avaricious as Braden, but she is a little more dependent than Tariq, because she needs all the drug money she can get to pay her Stansfield school tuition. It's not surprising that Effie rolls her eyes at Tariq and Braden's discussions about their plans blowing up, and the expensive vehicles they'll buy with the money they'll receive, because we know that she takes an all-business, no-play approach to life. For Effie, this has never been a come-on. Rather, it's a matter of life or death. If everything else fails, she has fewer options than Tariq and Braden. Braden comes from a very wealthy family, and Tariq could ask Monet for assistance. She has the fewest resources of the bunch with Effie, so you can kind of appreciate it when we see her consider relaunching course correct behind Tariq and Braden's back. You can also comprehend it when she exerts pressure on Braden to remain silent about their failed attempt to kill Lauren. Ellie finds herself on opposing ends of the need versus greed debate, as this episode leaves us to wonder. When things go awry, her greed, which is almost a synonym for her needs, protects her from harm that no other character will experience. All things considered, Effie needs to be avaricious because, based on how things stand after just 2 episodes, it seems more likely that something will go awry than not.